Hey, good evening, Augusta Nation. We're just right about at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just got done with the gym. That's why I'm not in my Augusta Gold attire, and I am on the other side of town where I live. And typically, if I had a little bit more time, I'd go back to the office and work on some things that I could use the computer on, and then come, leave the office by about 6 o'clock, get home by 6:30. But it wouldn't be too efficient fighting traffic just to go to the office for about 15 minutes. So I'm in a parking lot just outside of what is now Evans downtown. So just wanted to take a little bit of time. It's technically on my ride home, but don't have sun in my face and I'm not driving, so that's always nice. Just around the corner from my house. Gonna end the day a little bit early. I do have a Christmas light estimate that I have to write up, and then just a small paver walkway estimate that I need to write up as well. We don't typically do those, so I don't have them in the system for Command Center to just send off with notes. So that's why I have to send those. And so I'll do that in the parking lot, finish the day a little bit early. But as far as what went on today, I had about 7 estimates, which was nice to see some action in this time of year. And as we grow, we do start realizing that this is a seasonal business, and we will end up having to lay off team members around, I would say probably our slow season would be December through the last week of February, and then just kind of thinking for the future of how we'll handle that. So if you're listening and you have a lawn care business, let me know in the comments as far as seasonality of your work, what y'all do as far as if you have to lay people off, if you try to keep them on, keep them busy no matter what, or if you have something in your town. I know that as far as what they can do for your down period. Our down period, like I said, is about 3 months, maybe 12 weeks. And just trying to use my network and to think ahead of the game, so that when that does happen, we will have a good source of employers that could use good team members for that period of time. I know that the original location of Augusta in Bellingham, Washington, they have ski resorts and things like that work out perfectly for their slow season, which that's super cool. If you're a lawn care employee, you mow grass throughout the busy season, and then you have the opportunity to work at a ski resort. That's pretty cool. So here in Augusta, Georgia, we don't have that, and don't really have I don't believe anyways a more fun seasonal way to work. But I've already been talking with my network and finding some options. So let me know in the comments how y'all handle that, if you have seasonal layoffs, and what y'all do specific to where you're at. Definitely not something, if we didn't have to do it, that would be great, but it's just the way that our business works. We've got a lot of perks, but that I believe is one of the downfalls, or just something you have to work around. But I also believe that there's ways that you can remedy it and soften that blow. But I was talking to a fellow lawn care business owner today. Me and him we're talking about business and where he's come this year, and just kind of catching up. And I can remember when I was in the phase of business, I would say around $400,000, $500,000. For me personally, my goal at the beginning was to build a business that could run on its own with systems, and did not need me. And you're not saying that I wouldn't be here, but if I wasn't, it could run by itself. So that was always my goal. And as far as knowing that from the start, I made several mistakes. I know I've mentioned in videos previous, but as far as advice, if you're new to lawn care, if you're thinking about starting a company, this bit of advice is vital. When you're starting, you want to get to profitability, enjoy that period when you're solo, because you can be super profitable as a solo operator. And especially if your goal is to grow from solo operator, to $1 million plus, or let's just say 750 plus, and to build a systems operated business to where, you might have a general manager and, you can be the estimator or even, hire it out. If that's your goal, profitability is so important. And, growth, that top line revenue, yeah, you've got to do that, but you also have to profit, especially when you are running it by yourself. Mike Andes talks about this a lot, as far as when he's talking about the different sectors or the different stages from solo operator to $1 million, or let's just call it 750 to $1 million. But you've got, as a solo operator, if your pricing is good, if it's accurate for your area, for profitability, you can, I'll use our example. And, we could do, as a solo guy, I know I could go out and do 40 budgeted hours. So we bill at $80 per labor hour. So by myself, I could go out and do $3,200 a week just in labor. So just round it off to 3,000, call it $12,000 a month. So right there alone, $150,000 a year by yourself. So making sure that you are setting yourself up for that, as far as the price at the start of it, is super important, because then you're going to get into, you'll hire somebody, and that's great. That's still super efficient. You're on the truck, making sure that everything is done. Your team member is held accountable. He's trained well because he's with you every day. Where it gets a little sticky, and you've got to, spend that profit to buy the resources for another truck, and then you've got, another team member going out. You might have to have, at least renting a storage unit. You've got some overhead. You're out there, you're going to need somebody to start answering the phones, so that you can, once you get past 150, really the race is from 150 past $500,000, because in that space, you're using that overhead to grow. You're starting to have to use marketing dollars to get leads. You're spending money. You're buying trucks and equipment every year, and you are inefficient as far as when you have your new hires, because they're not trained. You're burning through people, and from that stage of say 150 to past 500, you've want to speed past that. And the mistakes I made is I didn't start off. I was super focused on growth, and growth at all expense. I didn't have. I hired people and let them stay much longer than they should have. They were inefficient labor-wise, not the type of people I wanted to build my business on as far as their character. There was absolutely zero culture when, I was super focused on growth, but I also needed to be focused on profitability and working in the business longer than I did. I was focused on getting out of the business, out of the labor. I should have focused on being profitable for the first, couple years, so I could use that profit to speed past 500,000. So, and in doing that, by growing unprofitably, I put myself into debt, which next year, thankfully, we will be done with that. And that's the tune of about $5,000 a month in debt payments, as far as credit line, business loan, and then all of our mowers, and then our spray rig was financed. So that's a little bit of advice I wanted just to bring home. But also know that when you're growing, the guy I was talking to today, he's done incredibly well. He'll hit past $500,000 this year. And I can remember being, from, mine lasted a little bit longer, but I can remember probably $200,000 to $400,000. I felt as if I knew nothing, that the business was crumbling, that I was doing absolutely everything wrong, and I felt stuck. And once you get past that, I would say once this friend of mine next year, gets into that $750,000 to $1 million range, things don't get easier. You got different problems, but you're not torn from production to office work to phone calls to estimates. You have the ability to hire either virtual office staff that is present here locally, or depending on what your strengths are, if you're going to be more of a project manager estimator, or if you're going to hire someone to do your selling and things like that. But speaking with him, I'm super excited, and I try to persuade anyone I know as far as in the landscaping industry this time of year to think about going to Landscape Summit. And this one, it's hosted by Mike Andes, the founder of Augusta, but he brings a ton of other businesses in. It's open to everybody. It is January 13th through the 15th. That's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's in Bellingham, Washington. It is $299 per person to come. And it is, as far as if you've been to GIE, if you've been to some other trade show type industry events, this one is much more personal. It's a little bit smaller. You might have 200 to 300 people, and it is all about business as far as growing your business, profitability, hiring, marketing, everything. It's like it's a seminar. You're going to do 2.5 full days, and it's going to get into the nooks and crannies of making sure that you are ready to have the best business that you've ever had this upcoming year. So I strongly urge you to come, and I believe it'd be the best. The ticket's only $300, but you have to invest a plane ticket in a place to stay. But it'd be the best money that you'll spend on your business this coming year. So if you're able, come check us out. We're bringing a good bit of our team here from Augusta, Georgia, the Augusta Lawn Care franchise. And I really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for joining me on not actively riding home, but I'm about to be headed home. And until tomorrow, hope you have a great day, and thank you for checking out the channel.